on, guys? So today we're gonna work on getting the timing cover put on and the front accessories, water pump, maybe a harmonic balancer. See how that goes. I don't have a tool to actually press it on, so we're gonna see how that goes. If it doesn't go on tonight, we'll get a tool tomorrow or so. Then we'll get to getting the oil pan put on. But I got a few hardware, some bolts, gaskets and all I'm going to use to get this front cover put on. Got you a little closer here. So got a bolt kit from LMR. It's a nice little kit. I used it on the 306 as well. It's the water pump and timing cover guide here. It's pretty cool. Pretty much shows you what bolt is what. For example, I got this little bolt here. Kind of just put it right here on the paper. I know this is a B bolt. You turn this paper around, and it tells me this B bolt goes down here on the bottom of this timing cover. So it's a pretty cool guide. Comes with this kit. I highly recommend it. It's been a good kit. I used it on the 306 as well, and it never rusted. The 4 years I had on the motor, it never rusted. So it's well worth, I think it's like 60 bucks for the kit. And comes with everything to assemble the timing cover, water pump, and all. I like it, so we're going to use it on the 351. Got some ultra black gasket sealer here we're going to use, mainly here on the tips on this gasket for a good seal. It's where the oil pan will go. I got a few other gaskets here. Obviously we won't use them all because it comes with a carburetor application and fuel injection configuration. So we're got those there. What we're gonna start off with, I got my bolts already over here for the bottom part of the cover. We're gonna get some gasket sealer, and we'll get started on this. I'll show you this in another video of the dowel pins. So I put new dowel pins, or guides, whatever you want to call them, into the block, so the timing cover will be aligned properly against the block. Everything else looks pretty good on it. I might do some little touch-ups here on the paint where they painted it. Make sure everything's nice and smooth. And we'll go from there. Then we'll get the cover we'll put on. The gasket sealer I'm talking about is mainly like right in here. Won't get no leaks. Alright guys, so I got everything cleaned off where this gasket's going to meet up with. We're just going to lay our gasket on. On this gasket you'll have to punch out for the dowels here, so it'll line up properly. So everything looks pretty good. Alright, now so we're going to put a little gasket sealer on both sides here, front and back, so we make a nice good seal. That's on there. Put a little more on this side. Just press it on. Then I'm going to put some right here. Alright, now so we got our timing cover. We're just going to slide it on. no hammer required on this guy. Just slid right on. Alright, so we got our bolts here. 2 of these short ones. We'll go right here. Actually, one will go right here. You got a studded one, goes right there. Alright guys, got my 4 bolts in. On this one with a stud, I decided to put a washer on it. I didn't feel comfortable just having a stud on it because I have a bigger opening here, and if I want to go torque it down, it would just sink into this cover. So I put a washer on it. We're going to torque them down. I'm not going to torque this one completely down because you have your pointer that goes right here. I'll have to take it back out anyway, but I'm going to torque these two and the stud here down. 15 foot-pounds. No, I'm going to go ahead and torque this one down for right now. Once we get the pointer ready, I still need to clean it up and paint it. Alright, I'm going to go back over them. Alright, what's up guys? So it is the next day, and I'm not sure where I left off on this video, but the original water pump I had did not work. Apparently it was wrong. It was a wrong water pump. So went back to Summit today, got the correct one. Looks much better. The other one had let me get this on camera here. These 2 pipes here that go to your, well, one goes to your heater core, one goes to the manifold. Well, they had them on the other side, and this guy right here was right on here on the other side of the water pump, so it was completely wrong. Took it back and finally got the right one, so we're going to get it bolted up today and be done with that at least. I was noticing too, while I was putting this together, I was putting the bolts in, and well, let me get this on camera here. I noticed when I was putting the bolts in, I mean, it was the threads. See, for example, that's how you see nothing but threads. On the other water pump, it was like literally like that. I mean, past the threads, there was no way to tighten it down. So that was going to work. Did some research last night, and I got the wrong water pump, obviously. So got the correct one today. So we're going to get that installed and work on the oil pan. I still need to tap it for the drain line for the turbo. We'll get that done tonight as well. I'm not going to weld it on. I mean, I have a welder, but my welding skills aren't on par, so I'm gonna go ahead and do like I did on the other oil pan, just tap it, but this time I can drill it, then tap it, give a little bit of, push some of that metal in so I can get some threading on it, and use some black RTV on it, seal it up. It'd be perfect. It'll work just fine. So that's the plan we're gonna do for tonight. If we get more done, great. Like get the harmonic balancer on as well, but this water pump kind of set me back. I planned on getting it put on last night in the oil pan, but that didn't happen. But we're gonna get it done tonight. So, all right, guys, let's get started. All right, guys, got our bolts in. Using this handy little diagram here, help point them out where they go. So we got your two F's right here, which would be 2 bolts right there. Then you got your G and your H right here, G and H. Then you got your C, and you got 2 D's, and that's it. As far as for the bolts for the water pump, that's pretty clear instructions. Back here on the back, it's hard to tell. Let me pull the camera. Got these 2 bolts right here. Just pretty much tighten them up with a wrench, because you can't get a torque wrench in there to torque them down, to snug them down real good. And we're going to torque these down. Torque specification is 15 foot-pounds. So we're going to torque these down, and that's pretty much it for the water pump. Alright guys, so I got the oil pan on the motor, just test fitting, make sure everything lines up well. While I got it on here, I made some marks here for the drain line for the turbo. So give you a little rundown here. I'm not going to weld a fitting on here. My welding isn't that great, and this material, well, this oil pan is pretty thin, so I want to avoid burning a hole in it and pretty much ruin my oil pan. But what we're going to do is I'm just going to drill a hole in this and use a punch and punch it to make it bigger and give me, pushing that metal in to give me some material to tap on, I should say. So I got some marks here on the oil pan. I'm going to show you what they are, and so on. So I don't know if you can see on the camera or not, but from your first hole on the oil pan going towards the back, you want to measure a 1/2 inch from it, 1/2 inch back. Then you want to measure up 1 3/4 inches, and that's where we're going to be putting our fitting at for the drain line. So I already made my marks here. So all I'm going to need to do is I'm going to drill a hole in this. I'm going to take the oil pan off first, then I'm going to drill a hole in it. Then I got a punch. We can spread that out a little bit bigger and push some of that material of the metal in, and give us some area to tap our pan, give us some threads. If this is already in the car, I did it with 306. I punched it all the way. You do not want to drill at all with this pan on. You got this whole motor in the car because you don't want no shavings in this pan. So when I got everything marked here, we're going to pull this oil pan off. We're going to drill it. Then we'll get the punch and make the hole bigger to size. Give you an idea what the fitting look like. It's a 3/8 thread. Goes on something like that. So it takes a 5/8 drain hose with what I have on the car, and works well. So that we're going to continue with this. A few of y'all probably gonna say, how come I didn't go with a AN fitting? Mainly because of cost. I think having problems with this option or ran it this way, so I'm gonna continue it, and I already have everything for it. So we're just gonna go with it. All right, guys. So I got my hole drilled here. Got some punches over here. Gonna be using to make this hole bigger. I want to push some of this metal in. They give me some area to tap to, give me some threads for the plug here. So I'll go here on the side of the oil pan. I think the one I'm going to use is this one, the biggest one I got. Slide down like that. Get my hammer and just hammer it. I just need to find a way to support right here, because I don't want to warp this whole oil pan. Alright guys, so I got my tap kit here. Got my 3/8 NPT tap here. I've already tapped it already. Pretty much, it's pretty much done. I ran it through a couple times. Already did some test fits, and everything looks good. So just gonna put some black RTV just around these threads here on the back side, so we make a good seal. Pop this out. You can see this metal is pretty thin, so you can see it back on this side is trying to push itself a little bit, in a little more on this side than this side, but I worked it the best I could and got the fitting to be straight, not an angle or anything, so it looks good. I'm gonna go with it. But some of y'all are probably gonna say I should have just welded it, but I don't want to take a chance of burning a hole through this pan and pretty much ruining it. So I decided to just go ahead and go this route, and it works either way. So got that done. Just gonna need to clean all these shavings out of this pan, make sure everything's clean. Then we'll put this fitting on. Well, I'll put the fitting on first, tighten it down, put some RTV around it, make sure everything's good. Then clean everything else out of this pan. Then we'll be ready to throw it onto the motor. But first I want to throw some oil on this chain. A few of you guys were saying I should soak this chain in oil, but I never did with the air motor. I didn't have any problems, but I mean it would be a good idea to do, but I didn't. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put some oil on the chain, so at least there'll be some sort of oil on it for the first fire. Gasket I'm gonna be using Pro, as always. I'm not sure that's the number for it or not, but it's a Pro gasket. That's all I've been using on this motor. That's what we're going to use on this oil pan. It's Pro. I need to cut these off with a razor blade where we put this cover on. Make sure everything's flat or flush. Then we'll put a little more TV on the corners here, down here on the sides, on each side here, where the crank is, so we won't have any leaks. To hold this oil pan down, got some ARP, as always. Stud kit for the oil pan. Should do the job. So we'll get the rest of the oil pan finished up. Then we'll work on getting these studs put in. Then we can get to getting this oil pan on. Alright guys, got it on. Got some RTV around it. The ultra black. I'm not sure what they call it, ultra black. It's got kind of a gray tint to it, but whatever. She is done. Everything looks good. So next steps we're going to do is, first I'm going to cut some of this gasket off when I put the timing cover on. Then we're going to put our oil pan studs in. Then, oh yeah, we're going to oil our chain here. Get that done. Then we'll let our gasket down. Then finally we can bolt the oil pan down. So got all the studs in. I applied RTV I applied RTV on my corners here, on each side, on where the timing cover and the block meet. First I flattened it off, make sure it's nice and flat. Took all the excess gasket off. Then I applied some new gasket here. Applied gasket on the two corners, front and back. So I got the gasket on. Now we are ready to throw the oil pan on. I've already put some oil on the chain. Got a little leakage going on there. All good. So I did oil the chain. And now we are ready to throw the oil pan on. Alright guys, so I got the oil pan on. Just got all the studs, stud bolts on, just loose. Nothing's torqued down yet. So next we're going to torque them down. Torque specifications is 10 foot-pounds. That's what we're going to torque these down to. We're going to start in the middle and work our way out. Making sure everything's torqued down nice and evenly. One thing I did do is add a little gasket sealer right here on the round part here on both front and back. This oil pan did kind of go on a little funky. It's slightly warped, so but hopefully we can fix that when we torque everything down. We'll see how it goes from there. Hopefully it torques down good, and hopefully it doesn't leak. So, alright guys, I'm gonna go ahead and start torquing this stuff down. Alright guys, the oil pan is torqued down. 10 foot-pounds. Went over them twice, and looks like it's sealed up pretty good. That is it on the oiling system on this car. I want to do some touch-ups on this. I accidentally grabbed on the bottom of it, white bunched that RTV away, so I need to replace some RTV on the bottom, make it look good again. But other than that, everything is done on the oiling system. I want to get this bouncer put on. I don't exactly have a tool for it to get it on. You're not supposed to hammer them on. So we'll see about that. But I think that's all I'm gonna do tonight on the motor. Other than I think I'm gonna go ahead and, like I said, start painting on the spots that I missed, as you can see, and probably trim some of this gasket on the water pump and timing cover. Mainly not here, but like right here, like cut that off. We don't really need that there, just to make it look a little better. And throw some paint on it on some spots. You can see you got some blue there, but real easy to do. But other than that, everything looks pretty good on this motor. No clearance issues with this oil pan. This is a 7-quart oil pan. I'm not sure if I said that or not in these videos, but this is a 7-quart oil pan running a high flow oil pump. So shouldn't have any problems with oiling on this motor. From the rumors I've been hearing online that these motors starve with a 5-quart oil pan. I don't know how true, but to be safe, got a 7-quart oil pan on it and a high flow oil filter, or not oil filter, but oil pump. And the turbo should get plenty of oil. Shouldn't have any oil problems with this motor. But one thing I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna finish up, like I said, just trimming on the gaskets and throw some touch-up paint on it, and be done with it. Then, first I'm gonna get the, like I said, get the harmonic bouncer put on. Then we'll start with putting the heads on. Gonna be studying that as well. Got the stud kit right there. But yeah, guys, this motor's coming along. I'm actually hoping to get this motor in here next 2 weeks. I'll be on vacation here. I have a whole week off, so we should get this motor in. Got the new tranny down there, TKO 600. should handle the power this motor's gonna put out. Not sure I showed you these yet. I traded those other Phil Pros in, the 9333s PT1s for the 1011-2 head gasket. So should do the job. And like I said, I'm using Phil Pro on everything on this motor. That's all I use. They're having problems with them. Knock on wood.